Hey guys, Cartoon Retro Boy here, and welcome to another video. You expect another video on the same day? Well, I get kind of want to try to do a little bit of experimenting, but boy, man, this topic is gonna make people triggered, honestly, by this point. So, you're probably wondering, what do I think is the most hated episode for My Little Pony for me? Well, that goes to a matter of principles. And what's my most hated SpongeBob episode, you're wondering? Choir Boys. So, I would think it would be kind of funny to compare both Choir Boys and A Matter of Principles together because both of them suck just as hard as the other. And I can't even say which one is worse because both of them are equally as bad as the other. Let's start off with Choir Boys. So the plot of this episode is that it starts with it's basically Squidward wants to go to a choir practice, while Sponge tries to wants to follow along, and basically show off his singing to Squidward. So, what's the problem with this episode? A lot of it is just annoying filler, tedious jokes. Most of it is just plain and simple, frustrating, boring, slow paced, very tedious, repetitive, annoying, and overall just overall awful. Yes, all that combined, and that what makes it my least favorite episode of SpongeBob history. This is the episode, I think, honestly, I think this is where the show jumped the shark for sure. This is the episode, not the Splinter, this episode. Even though Boating Buddies and the Splinter both came out in 2008, and I think that's where I noticed a little bit of the decline in quality. No, I think season 6, I think Choir Boys is where I think the show went bad for a while. Because, man, this episode was a bad omen for season 7 and also a little bit of season 8 and season 9A. And this was a bad omen for how boring season 7 was going to be. Anyway, so who freaking Ray? But what's the biggest problem with this episode, you're probably wondering? Well, it's actually SpongeBob. Yes, SpongeBob, the main character. He is just constantly trying to just annoying Squidward, bothering Squidward while he's going on his way to choir practice. Is it just too much to like? If you wanted to try to get Squidward's attention, SpongeBob, you could have easily just asked him instead of just keep trying to get his attention and stuff. And even though Squidward said no, if Squidward said no, then it would have made more sense personally. Back now, let's go to the My Little Pony episode, A Matter of Principles. I'm gonna go back to Choir Boys in a few seconds, but A Matter of Principles is about Starlight being in charge of the school while the main six are away. And guess who freaking decides to show up? Discord. I may have not liked his appearance in Celestia and Vice or even season 6 in general, but man, I think this is the worst Discord related censored episode because this is the worst one in the entire show for me, and the worst Starlight episode of the entire show. And gosh, this episode kind of ticks me off. Because the concept sounds cool. Starlight being in charge of a school for a day sounds like a pretty good idea. But no, of course they have to have Discord in this episode, and guess and of course he makes a mess of the school. It is so predictable, tedious, repetitive, and also just annoying. You see the problem I have with you see the problem yet? I'm getting constantly annoyed by both episodes. Then let's move on to the next section of the episodes, where this is where the episode gets frustrating. These both episodes get frustrating. So, what's the other biggest problem? Back to Choir Boys. What is the other biggest problem with this episode? The throat clearing gag. This gag happens a few times in this episode, and it's not funny, it's not clever, and it's kind of boring. It's filler, and it's not needed to be there. It's clearly just filler for filler, which Season 6 is known for filler as well. It may not be the most boring season to watch, but it's definitely the most frustrating one. Like, it's so boring that it kind of ticks me off a bit. This Choir Boys is one of those is probably the only episode that is so boring, so lifeless, so tedious that it actually kind of ticks me off a bit, a lot. Like, okay, let's see. And let's move on with Choir Boys a little bit. So after SpongeBob tries to get his attention, SpongeBob builds a pothole and basically when Squirrel was riding on his bike, he gets launched into Jellyfish Fields, where he gets sting, where he lands on the grass field, and gets surrounded by jellyfish. And SpongeBob has to say this infamous line that I really hate and I really do not like is this: "What a lucky break! Now I have a captive audience." This line shows that SpongeBob does not really care really too much about Squidward in the scene. If this was pre-movie SpongeBob, he would have helped Squidward out of the jellyfish. But no, since this is post-movie SpongeBob, he just literally leaves him to get sting. If this was a pre-movie episode, I'm pretty sure it would have been more about the choir practice than actually Squidward just being bothered by SpongeBob. Like, what lazy writing is that? And this was made by freaking Aaron Springer, who is one of my favorite SpongeBob writers of the entire show, and Richard Purcell, which is one of my least favorite SpongeBob writers. Wow. Isn't that just stunning? Huh. Oh boy. Richard Purcell is one of those writers that I just don't really like too much because a lot of his episodes are not very good to be fair. Some of them are just not very good, honestly. Like A Pal for Gary and Pet Sitter Pat, to be fair. Let's see, what else? Anyway, Squidward just gets stung by the jellyfish, and that's basically it. This scene is very frustrating and very just like, oh, screw off, SpongeBob. Back to matter of principles. Now, I will admit, even though I hate this episode a lot, just as much as Choir Boys, I will admit, Trixie, Maud, and I don't know who else, Cranky being as teachers is not so bad as a concept. But no. But no, 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 no. 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 It's kind of in a bad way. Cranky is kind of a douchebag in this episode to I don't even know how to say the Griffin's boy name, honestly. Galactus? I don't even know. He's such a jerk to him. He's such a jerk to him, like, I swear. That's not funny, it's not clever, it's mean-spirited, and it's kind of a jerk move. I know Cranky is usually grumpy, but jeez, did he have to take it up a notch? Jeez. Also, I don't like how they had to make Starlight Trixie teach a class. Like, we don't need to see that, honestly. Trixie can be sometimes herself, and I understand that, but here, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like it, honestly. And as for Maud, it's boring. It's boring, filler that don't need to be added into this episode. I will say it's the only enjoyable teacher thing I like about this episode, but that's really it. That's the only part of the episode I do enjoy, Maud. That's all I can say about it. The rest is garbage. Anyway, after during these scenes, we also see Discord messing around by messing around, which is not good honestly, if you're wondering. And Starlight does this thing where she zaps Discord, which honestly is deserved. I mean, you're trying to hurt this. You almost got Yoda killed 2 times. One the first time. Like, geez, Discord. Like, geez, Discord. You're like, what are you, a psychopath? Oh yeah, this episode treats him like a psychopath. Which is not a good sign when you're writing a episode about Discord. And you're also making Starlight be kind of go through been in the right. See, both, and you know what's the kicker to the nuts here is that both episodes also have a similar problem of characters being mistreated poorly. And the other character is just being the worst they could ever be. Discord and SpongeBob are at their worst, and Starlight and Squidward just make me feel bad for them. They just suffer. They just have to deal with it, and it's kind of frustrating to see them deal with it. Anyway, let's see. What else can I talk about this episode for? Okay, let's go back to the choir boys. So, Squidward is shown to be stung by jellyfish already, and it looks like he's running low on time. So Squidward uses his bike, using his tricycle to go faster, and goes through a kelp vine maze, and then goes speeding until SpongeBob stops him because he writes him a ticket for frowning and failing to listen to his stupid song. And he's apparently a singing traffic cop. Bull crap. I call that bull crap on that. Just saying. As Chance said in his SpongeBob Season 6 video, I'm not even saying the word. I'm just gonna let you hear the audio of it, because I don't really feel like saying it myself.
Takes centuries. We don't have that kind of patience.
I think I can hang out with this guy for a while.
Me too.
Wow,
Me
it's
too.
like that
Me
now.
As Chance said in his Season 6 video, yeah.
Failing to listen to my song.
He's gonna say,
What are you, some kind of...
just hear this.
I'm a singing traffic cop.
Singing traffic. Bullshit.
Yeah, you heard that? Not even saying the word. Honestly, yeah, I call that bull crap on that. Anytime I see this episode, I just get more madder and madder. Because this episode is what truly shows sometimes SpongeBob can be a terrible show. Can be a bad show sometimes, because it kind of shows. Like, I swear, this is the episode, I think, where the show got downhill with. This is the episode. No other episode from any other season has ever been this far into destroying a character for me. This is why SpongeBob's not my favorite main character of any cartoon, honestly. If you want a character that's actually consistent, I would go with Twilight Sparkle, who's actually a better main character than SpongeBob. Heck, Squidward's even a better main character than SpongeBob. That's actually kind of that's the kick to the nuts right there. That's the kick to the nuts. Am I really saying that? That sounds weird, but oh my god. Like I said, I just don't like choir boys. Choir boys just burn a pit. Burn a pit. It can go burn in a pit of heck, honestly. Of worst episodes of cartoon history, honestly. Because, like I said, this episode is just so frustrating, tedious, repetitive, boring, and overall just doesn't have any enjoyable moments of anything. Nothing in this episode is enjoyable at all. Nothing. None of it. And that shows that it's truly a awful piece of crap episode. As for matter of principles, back to matter of principles. Well, actually, I guess let's keep moving on, actually. Anyways, so Squidward is tired of SpongeBob's antics and basically ties him up to a vine on a tree. So after Squidward leaves, SpongeBob starts singing beautifully and gets carried by Jellyfish, who hears his singing and basically carries him to the choir practice.
I told you guys I wanted a plain pizza. No sauce. Never pitch the ball already. My gosh, you take forever. Holy shit. Down and finish your food or I'm gonna whoop your ass. We all fall down. Mommy. I gotta take a subscribe to my channel.
Yep. Let's just say Choir Boys kinda is one of those episodes that is just infuriates me so much. Like, you guys don't know how much I hate Choir Boys out of the entire show, and this is the episode, I think, where the show went downhill with. This episode. No other episode has ever accomplished that in the whole history of this show. Not even season 4 and 5 can even be this downhill. At least those seasons are decent, at least. Oh my god, okay, let's just... Yes, let's just end off Choir Boys, okay? So, SpongeBob basically gets carried by Jellyfish, and then finally we get to see the choir practice, where Squidward starts clearing his throat, and this is another unfunny scene that does not need to be in this episode, and really is pointless, or Squidward spraying his stupid breath spray in his mouth. Really does not need to be needed in this episode, like I said. Anyway, SpongeBob comes in and basically steals Squidward's spotlight in the choir practice, and Squidward and SpongeBob even gets a mustache. Whoop frickety doo. What did I even expect? SpongeBob sometimes just wins on purpose, honestly. He just gets to win on purpose. Wait, I can't say that. He just wins automatically, and Squidward just loses in this episode. And once one of them asks, ask them if he's willing to be a singer in the choir practice in, like, I guess Bikini Bottom, I guess. SpongeBob says he'll do it, but if Squidward gets a spotlight as well. And Squidward smiles, and then one of them says deal. And then this is where the episode falls completely apart at the ending. This is where nothing redeems the ending either, anyway. It shows that SpongeBob is singing while Squidward has to turn the pages, and basically his turning pages partner. And that ends Choir Boys. Now, let's go back to a matter of principles. So basically, they have to do a scavenger. So basically, Neon Six has to do a scavenger hunt around the school, and that's actually about it. Oh wait, Discord also appears and tries to kill Yoda again with going in quicksand because the stairs were going in quicksand. And Discord tries to get all the items and asks us what's the prize. And Spike says detention. And Discord says with a, well, that's disappointing. And Spike catches all the stuff. And then Starlight calls out Discord, but Discord kind of denies it. And guess what she does? Guess what she freaking does that is honestly the worst thing I ever seen in any cartoon history. She apologizes. Yep, of course. She was completely in the right the whole time, and the fact she had to apologize, no, that's not how you write a character. That's not how you write a main character who's been dealing with this crap the whole episode. That's just bad writing. That is just bad writing, and whoever decided that should have been honestly, they should have been more careful with their writing, because the writing here just sucks ball halls. It's literally choir boys again, like I said before. A Matter of Principles is really one of the most frustrating, tedious, and kind of just repetitive episodes I have ever seen in any cartoon history. It's literally number 2 on my top 10 worst episodes of cartoon history. Because, man, this episode really shows that sometimes a good cartoon could be a bad cartoon sometimes. And that sucks, man. And, oh yeah, then we also get to reveal that the Discord send the main 6 on a fake mission because I have no idea. And let's just say the ending of this episode is abysmal. Of course. Man. This episode just makes me so infuriated, and it's just overall not a great episode. It's just so very awful, and it's just no. He makes yeah.
Guess this means you're not vice head anymore. Oh, I just ordered business cards.
Yep, and it just ends with Discord having business cars. What a load of barnacle crap. Yeah, this shows that the writers definitely were having a bad day with this episode, because, oh my goodness, how can you write a good character, a good villain, and turn him into one of the worst characters you had with the show in general? How do you manage that and make me hate a character that I once liked, and you literally mess him up so badly that there's no return? Thankfully, in season 9, Discord improved himself, and at least there's no Discord episode in season 9, thank God. Because honestly, I could imagine it being worse than his worst appearance in the entire show for me. Yep. Let's just say that I am very, 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 very freaking. I'm just shocked by how bad this episode has aged, honestly. It aged like toilet paper. It aged like Choir Boys in a nutshell. That means it's in my abysmal tier. That's saying something so bad that it's just so bad that you cannot find any enjoyment in watching the episode. What's my final verdict of Choir Boys and Matter of Principles? Both of them are getting a 0 out of 10. The worst episodes of cartoon history, in my opinion. How can you manage to make both episodes just as bad as the other? That's just baffling. Like, this is, oh my god. See, this is why I hate season 6 of SpongeBob and My Little Pony season 8. Both of them are the worst seasons of any cartoon history, honestly. Worst seasons of any cartoon, in my opinion. They're the worst ones. They have the worst episodes from the show, the worst episodes, some of the most infamous episodes, and overall had some episodes that just overall were not great and did not exceed the season so well. Even though My Little Pony season 8 may be better than season 6 SpongeBob, but it's second place when it comes to worst seasons of cartoon seasons, in my opinion. Third would be Loud House season 4, of course, because I hate that season also as well. Anyways, I think that ends up this video. Cartoon Retro Boy is out.